Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether you're listening through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and don't forget to hit follow through social media, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, or X. I hope everyone is enjoying the day after the draw against West Ham. Obviously, it was not the result that we wanted, but we were the men's squad is now off for at least 2 weeks to hopefully get healed up, everyone back ready to go as they play Everton on the 23rd. Today's episode is just the preview for the Women's Champions League match against Atletico Madrid. We played them earlier on this season, so we are getting ourselves ready for that. Again, I'll discuss that matchup as well. And then just before we begin, I am aware of the Sir Jim comments. We are aware. I've been seeing the post. We are aware of what's been said. Interpret it how you would like to think about it. It'll be interesting to see how everything is now portrayed the next day after with Manchester United and what's being said. That's where I will leave it as to let, if you're not familiar with it, do check it out. But there was an interview with Sir Jim Ratcliffe today that came out. Some comments were made about it, or some comments that he said in regards. So it is up to you to interpret what you think of what was said. And I'm very aware that the Prime Minister had made something, not the Prime Minister of Canada, the Prime Minister of the UK had made a post about the comments that Sir Jim had said. So, but let's focus on what is being done, what the important thing is today. Like, today is the match preview for the women's game, Atletico Madrid versus Manchester United. This is round 2 again. Yes, round 2, and then this is technically round 2, but round 2 of the second leg, or of the first leg, sorry. We played them earlier on this season in the not the group stages. But we played them early on with the fixtures. So I'm just pulling up that last game when we last played them. Yes, we played them back in October. It was an interesting game. Listen, both squads got reds. We did go up 1-0 with Rolfo, who is not playing. Rolfo, Galston, and Toon are still out. So they won't be playing. Rolfo got a knock from the weekend, so that got her out, which is tough because when I was setting up my lineup, I was hoping to have her in the lineup for her, because she did play in that last matchup, and she has been great when she's been getting those minutes in Europe. But unfortunately, you don't have her for the first leg. Lineup prediction will come on later on. It was a tough game. Atletico was pressing. The physicality was there. United were able to adapt. We got the goal early. The one thing that was challenging too was Dominic Janssen got the red. So we're going down, trying to protect the lead. And this is the game where they played fantastically defensively, just protecting that lead, making sure everything was there. Atletico did get a red card as well later on, so you're back to even. But they defended well, they cleared well. But Atletico did press. Atletico did have opportunities to go. So going into this game, 1, making sure we don't get a red. 2, protecting ourselves with the press of Atletico. When we have faced some of these European clubs, and we saw it with early stages we saw it with some with Arsenal, we've seen it with City as well, Wolfsburg, Lyon, like besides the 2 teams that they face in the Super League, outside those European clubs, like I mentioned, Wolfsburg, Lyon, they did to us very well. But Atletico, Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus, the European teams that we played against, their press and physicality has made an impact. Now, what has changed since then is obviously injuries. Obviously, things have changed since then. The depth has improved for us. Obviously, we have injuries again. Rolfo, Toon are not there; they're present there. We have now, the good thing is depth coming back. So Gabby George is back. Again, I was about to say Rolfo again, but Rolfo's out. Having Gabby George back gives opportunities for there. Schuler, Wangerham, Lundqvist, they're huge improvement. They're huge additions as well. So having that there is great. It is. So looking at it for this match and everything, we have to be able to control the middle, move the ball. The one thing too is when we have been subjugated to the high press, the pressure, we make mistakes. The passes, and I know Skinner sometimes likes to use the movement out of the back, using our wings, the attack. We're going to have to be more aware of the physicality. We're going to see that that's what we're going to see. We have to face Atletico twice. And physicality and press can take its toll. If you are forcing those mistakes, if you are forcing those challenges, it can cause errors. And that's the one thing we're going to try and avoid. That's one thing we have to be able to control that middle. Like, again, I know we like to use the wings. Having Mallard on the wing will be great. That's the one thing too. When I was I'll let you know what I was thinking about when it comes to the middle, or when I was developing the attack and everything, because there's many options you can go with this, and so it's depending on how it's going to be playing out. But again, like the movement of the ball, the late, like sometimes when we've made those passes, the receivers, the passes, sometimes they're just not connecting. Sometimes we're one or two steps too slow to react. Sometimes when we're trying to make the long balls, and we saw it with the first halves against Liverpool, we saw it with Leicester City. We've seen it all over, when they're trying to connect with long balls, the connections aren't there. And when they're trying to clear out and use those long passes, those, like, either the receiver's not aware or it's just they're getting intercepted too easily. So small passes, control, moving the ball, that's what they have to do. And I'm not saying we can't, like, we're not going to be able to avoid the press. It's going to be there. They're going to be physical with us. The one thing too is we have to be able to counter and be able to have them use their press as a weakness, and then that way we can stretch them out. Mallard, who is fantastic on the wing with her speed, using that there is great. Jess Park as well, with her feet control and maintaining the control of the ball, that is great as well. So it's a matter of just looking at it and how they're going to progress. Again, when I was looking at different lineups, it's we have to make sure, like, when looking at lineups, you're kind of going to be consistent with some positions. The attack is the one thing where I'm looking at here. There's certain things I am certain of. And the one thing too is, I'm just trying to regain my thoughts here when I was prepping this. But again, depth is going to be, not only that, this is the second game as well. So depth is going to be an issue. Well, no, depth shouldn't be an issue, is what I'm saying is, but rotation is going to be key. And the one thing too is, going into this game, the rotation and the options for Skinner to use is better. Like I mentioned, Schuler, Wangerham, Lundqvist are very important pieces to have. They are. They're good depth. Gabby George, having her back as well. Awojo as well. You have those players there. So, and I know our lineup was different last week, obviously, but going into this one here, you're going to have to look at ways to move this ball. So yes, let's get into the lineup. Again, the one thing too is I was concerned with how the lineup was going to be, but let's look at what I have here for the lineup. So my back four is going to be what it has been when you look at it for most of the season. Riviere, Letizier, Janssen, and Sandberg. Those are the back four. Olme, Miyazawa as your two mids. The attack is the one thing that I was concerned with and wondering how they're going to play it out. Turlin, yes, back to her starting at center as the striker. There are areas there where I've looked at Nelson and Park. Either you move Nelson to the bench, move Park to that attacking mid, and then you bring on someone like Wangerham to play out on the wing, and then you have Park in the middle. What I've done is kind of went with the lineup that they've done a little bit. Nelson as the 10, Park out on the wing as well, and then Mallard on the wing. Mallard I knew for sure was on the wing, but the one thing too is it's just trying to decide that attacking mid position. Now, looking at the last two games, just looking at here, Nelson played the last game, and then just going back to the fixtures, I just want to check because she started 2 games in a row at that attacking mid position. I'm just taking a look here. Yeah, because she played against Liverpool, and then I just want to check Aston Villa. No. She came on against Aston Villa. So 2 games in a row with a start. She did play, again, just on Saturday. So you may have her there, or what may be happening is you may have Park in that attacking mid. But I'm going to keep something similar to what it was against Liverpool in that regards. But do look at the rotation, especially with the challenges that they're going to be facing with that press and from what Atletico is going to throw at us. But they're going to have to move it. Again, that back four during Champions League was consistent. They have. And the one thing, too, is the fatigue. That's the one thing, too. The fatigue can hit us as well. So looking into it, you're going to see we may have some games where we're going to be extremely tired, and we may see that Sunday. But again, like I mentioned, the depth that Skinner has had this season, this now compared to the beginning of the season has been key, and that's going to help huge with the rotation. Again, not everyone started on Saturday. We did make some changes in rotations and brought players in. But again, we have options there. We do. And I think Schuler, the additions that we got during the transfer window is key. Having those 3 additions there are key as well. Getting Gabby George back is huge. When you have George and Lundqvist that can rotate with that back four, that's fantastic. Wangerham, having her out on, who you can bring someone out on the wing and move Park into the middle. This is the one thing that kind of sucked losing Rolfo, is because you can rotate with Turlin, Mallard, Rolfo at that center forward. Now that you have Schuler, you have 4 options there at that center forward position, and you can also use them out on the wing. So you look at it there. So that right wing is the one thing I'm just concerned. I'm not concerned with. It's just debating about that setup. So, you know what? I'll post the other lineup that I have. I have 2. The reason why is because it was just a debate on how to play it through, but I think we may go with Wangerham starting out on the wing for tomorrow, I believe. It's a tough choice. It is. It's trying to predict how you want to set the lineup is hard, but I'll post it now or you'll see it now. I'll post the other lineup that I have that I was looking at here. Basically the same premise. It's just that left right wing, and it's nothing against Wangerham, it's nothing against Park, it's nothing against Nelson. It's just how they're going to approach this. So that's the matter of, and we may keep it the same what I just mentioned earlier on. That's what I'm thinking of. So yeah. But yeah, tomorrow, again, going for the win. I hope it's going to be a tough one. We're on the road. When we played them last time, we won on the road. So every game can't be the same. It's not the same each time. And it's going to be a fight. Let's not hide that here. It's going to be a fight tomorrow. So if we can get something back, if we can control it and take it back to home, then yeah, we should be able to. So I'll be posting the lineup in my YouTube video and also be on my social media as well. So listen, I'm excited for the game tomorrow. I will be doing my post-game episode as well. So keep an eye out for that. So yeah, I'll be ending it there. But yes, again, post-game tomorrow, let's hope for a win. Again, it's important to take one on the road, bring it back. The advantage is coming home in that second leg. That's the advantage for us. So hopefully we can get that there. No red cards, movement of the ball, protect the ball, especially on the press. And if we can counter and if we can slip behind when they're pressing and they're putting that pressure on us, if we can get a ball over and use our speed, our length on the wings, crosses. And the one thing too, I should have mentioned too, we have to defend crosses. We have to make sure we're getting the ball out, control the ball. If we're going to go for a long pass, you have to make sure that's going to be in stride. We can't have passes intercepted. Those teams that can put high pressure on us can intercept those. And Atletico is probably going to look at what what Wolfsburg, what Lyon did against us. Those are the types of games where you saw what the physical can do, what the speed can do, the pressure can do. So right now we got to be crisp with our passes. We have to be crisp with the movement. We have to be able to get things going. We have to protect the ball. So look at that as well. So yeah, post game, we'll do my player ratings as well tomorrow. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, follow, whether it's on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as social media, Instagram, TikTok, and X as well. Before I go, yes, as you know, I do reside in Canada. There was a horrible shooting that was out in British Columbia, Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. Before I ended this episode, my condolences to the families that were affected by the shooting. It is terrible to hear that had happened. So my heart condolences to the families, to the friends of those who we have lost, that were injured. It is terrible to hear that. So it's horrible to hear when you hear something like that in the news about the shooting. So again, my condolences to all those affected in that horrific event that was experienced in Tumbler Ridge, BC. So I do, yeah. But again, I will be back tomorrow with the episode. I will be back tomorrow with the post-game episode. Enjoy the game. Let me know what you think as well. But yeah, tomorrow I'll be back Friday with an episode as well for pregame. But yeah, it will be a busy at the end of the week as well. Have yourself a great night. Enjoy the match. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.